Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we've got a pretty cool build. We're going to restore a Hot Wheels Spoilers King Cuda. Now, for those of you who collect the Hot Wheels and do the restorations and the customizing and like that, eventually you're going to wind up doing a car or cars more than once. Well, that's the case here. I've already done a King Cuda in the past, but this one here was just screaming for a restoration. Now, we're going to do a little bit of different things to it, but it is going to be a restoration. So go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage, be it coffee or beer or whatever, and sit back and enjoy, because this is going to be a fun build and it's going to turn out really neat. So let's go ahead and get started with our King Cuda. Here I've already got the car drilled apart. Now there are two posts on this car. Came apart pretty easy. We still have to take out the engine on the car. Now somebody had went ahead and painted this over the top of the old paint job. So we're going to strip it down and redo it. We got to drill out the engine like I said. The base is pretty tarnished and oxidized. Wheels are pretty sloppy, but we're going to try and fix that. We're definitely got to touch things up there. Windshield's in pretty good shape. We just got to polish it. I don't think we're going to need to put it in the Gauzy or the Pledge Revive or whatever. But we're going to go ahead and fix that. Interior needs to be cleaned up for sure. And the windshield needs to be polished. Well, it looks like we got our work cut out for us. Let's go ahead and continue. Here we'll drill out the post. I've already got a small indentation there from where I took the rivets out of the car anyways, or the mushroom post. Here I'm using a 1/16 inch bit because I plan on using 1-72 screws on this car. Now the reason I'm using the 1-72 screws is because the posts on these older red lines are very narrow. You could get away with using the 2-56, but it's going to give you a hard time, and if you make any mistake at all, you don't have any wiggle room. And that's why I'm using the 1-72 screws. Take your time, drill it out, and keep track of how deep the drill bit has penetrated, because you don't want to drill through the top of the car. Now it's time to put the car in the embalming fluid. Since we're going to be doing a color change here, I want to make sure that I'm going to get the whole underside and inside of the car. So when you dip it in, make sure you coat everything evenly. Let it drip off for a bit. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Now that's really cool because clicking on the subscribe button, folks, doesn't cost you a thing. It's free. Okay? So go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Here we got the body all cleaned up. Didn't take much cleaning up or prep. We did sand it down a little bit, and I used a lot of steel wool. I did my best to take away some of the casting lines. Now there was some really deep scratches in the roof, and there was one that was really super deep, and I sanded down as much as I really wanted to. But we're going to go ahead and use this wonderful Flitz polish. I recommend the Flitz polish highly, folks, and you can get it at your local hardware store, Ace Hardware. You can get it at Lowe's, you can get it at Home Depot. And then if you can't find it, you can get it at my Amazon Marketplace page, which is in the comments. Put a little dab of Flitz on there. Man, I love this stuff. It works fantastic. Coat the areas that you want to polish up. And get out your Dremel. I've got a new bonnet on this bad boy. Now, if you put too much, it's going to take a while for that to work because it takes time for it to get past the liquid stage and get down to where it's a little bit more chalk-like or cake-like. But the stuff works fast and it works fantastic. I love this product. That's working really nice. Just go over all the pieces and make sure you hold on to it pretty good, because I'll tell you, it'll grab onto things and it'll send it flying. That's looking good. Now the fibers that are flying off your little Dremel there, your bonnet, make sure that you don't have anything on your desk that you don't want to get stains on, because those little fibers, they got that polished out flits on there, and it's almost like a greasy mode. And if you got other cars, or if you got a decent shirt on that you don't want to get ruined, you might want to put a shirt on or something that will allow you to get dirt on it without worrying about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a brand new shirt on that I had gotten at Christmas time, and I'm in here polishing this bad boy, and those fibers are flying, and it hit the shirt, and I went to brush it off, and I smeared that black stuff all over my shirt. Oh man, that sucked. Get everything that you want to get. Now, if there's other areas that don't seem to be polishing up so well, go ahead and put a little bit more flits on there and polish it up a little bit longer, and you'll get the results that you want to. Trust me on that. Now, of course, the better finish you have on your car, where it's nice and smooth, the better the finish is going to be when you're done. This is looking fantastic. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the next step here and continue on. Here we're going to paint the car, and we're going to use today a Spectre Flame Ice Blue. And I hadn't done an ice blue car in a while, and I've been wanting to do this, but this finish turned out so nice, the surface turned out so nice, the car just screamed for a really nice light color, so I decided to go with the ice blue. And you can get these paints at the Redline shop. Now make sure you go through and you put a tack coat on the car, which is just a very, very light coat. Let it rest about 10 to 15 minutes in between. It'll give that paint time to tack up and start to set up. And then any other paint you spray on top of it, it will give it something to hold on to. And that's again why they call it a tack coat. So put a nice light coat on there, and then you're going to let it set for about 10 or 15 minutes. The longer the better. But don't let it sit out too long after that, because you're taking the chance of dust particles flying around and getting on your finish and ruining the finish. Here we're going to polish up the base. And again, today's double feature. We got more flits. But we're not going to let this, go by at normal speed. We're going to go ahead and speed this up. So let's grab your adult beverage and follow along. We polished up the base, and here we're finishing up the engine. Just the little details like this is what makes a restoration look really good. Now that looks like chrome. That's absolutely beautiful, and that was in pretty poor shape when we started. Here we're going to take a black Sharpie marker, and we're going to do the inside of the grill. The light's hitting it at a very weird angle, so it doesn't look like it's working, but it definitely is. Go over it a few times, make sure you got it covered like you want to. That's looking neat. Now we'll do the back end. Here we've got a red Sharpie marker, and that back end is all polished up. This is going to look nice. I'm holding the pen at an angle. That looks good. Make sure you get the end and get the underside too. Just take your time. Got a little bit on the edge there, but that looks good. That looks really nice. Now we're going to do the wheel swap. I got my wheels from the Redline shop, and here I'm using the deep dish wheels. Why? Because this is a muscle car, and it just screams for those deep dish wheels. There's the originals, and here's the new ones. I like how that wheel is set inside the tire some. Let's go ahead and put this bad boy on. There we go. We got 2 large meats in the back and 2 medium meats for the front. Here, take your tool that you get from the Redline shop, put it between the bearing and the axle, and squeeze it firmly with your thumb. That'll set the tire and the bearing. Now the axles here seem to be a little bit loose because I had pulled them out and hadn't set them properly yet, but I tightened them up with the Redline shop tool there, and they worked out pretty good. I also used a flat tip screwdriver and adjusted the wire in the back. That's looking good. Put it right over the end of the axle, in between the bearing and the base, and push it down with your thumb. That rolls nice. We'll just have to straighten up the wheel a little bit so it doesn't make a really hard turn. And here's what we got. We got the body all painted up. That turned out fantastic. I am super psyched for this. That's beautiful. Here's the base, all polished up with brand new deep dish wheels from the Redline shop. That looks good. We got the interior. We clean that up with soapy water and a toothbrush. That looks good. Here's the windshield. We clean that up with some plastic polish there. And here's the engine all polished up. Let's put it together and see what we got. And here's what we started with. A Hot Wheels Spoilers King Cuda. Now somebody had attempted to paint this on their own, and the job really isn't that bad, but there was a lot of chips on it and the like, so we wanted to make sure that we got this all cleaned up. We took it apart. We stripped the old paint off. We polished up the body. We gave it a beautiful paint job with Spectre Flame Ice Blue. We cleaned the interior with soap and water and a toothbrush. We polished the engine with that great Flitz polish. We polished the base with the Flitz polish, and we polished the body with the Flitz polish. We got brand new wheels on there from the Redline shop. Those beautiful deep dish wheels. And that turned out fantastic. And here's what we got to. Look at the beautiful paint job on this car. The details from the taillights in the back to the grille in the front. The Spectre Flame Ice Blue, the Redline shop, Redline tires. This car would be a welcome addition to anyone's collection. Now, if you have any questions about how to do these steps, follow the videos, watch the videos. And again, if you got questions, put a question in the comments because I read every single comment. I want you to succeed at this hobby and come back and watch my videos often because we're always giving all kinds of tips and tricks and things to do to help you with your hobby. And I always encourage people, and folks, you can do this. You can definitely do this. This turned out really, really nice, and I'm very happy with it. We do have a new thing that I started. It's called the Diecast Builder Spotlight. This is where I take and I mention one of my fellow builders that are here on YouTube that I do build-offs with occasionally to let you know that there are other folks out there for you to enjoy. And today's Diecast Builder Spotlight is my friend Andrew at Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers. Now, Andrew is a Canadian over in Switzerland, and he does some fantastic builds. So get a chance, go over and subscribe to Andrew's page and watch his videos. This video was brought to you by the Redline Shop. The Redline Shop offers a complete line of decals, tools to take your car apart, put them back together, replacement hoods, replacement glass, those beautiful Redline tires, and of course, the world-famous Spectre Flame paints. Fantastic products. The Redline Shop at www.redlineshop.com, where Redlines come to life. I want to thank you for joining me here today on Diecast Graveyard. We got a lot more builds coming up, all kinds of things happening. I don't know where to even begin. We got so much stuff going on. We got a lot of build-offs. We got the 4 Horsemen and all kinds of things coming up. Thanks for subscribing. Give it a big old thumbs up, and we'll see you down the road. Cheers.